Hello and welcome to episode 3 of T With Tomás. This is one of the only fashion podcasts on the internet right now. This is episode 3. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying the previous episodes every Sunday. As I said before, this is going to be a scattered upload podcast just because in fashion there's actually not much going on right now, especially in the summer. But I do have a list of really exciting topics for you guys. So I think, as always, like and subscribe. Hope you guys are enjoying the videos, and let's get right into it because there's absolutely no time to waste. Also, I am doing laundry right now. Sorry, I have a lot going on today, so you guys hear sirens in the back of these videos every single damn week anyway, so at this point, whether it's sirens on the street or the laundry, I had stuff to do today and we gotta do laundry. So let's start with some industry tea. It has been reported this week that Gucci for the second quarter of 2024 is down 20%. You guys, that is not good. I think in the first quarter, just leading up from the holidays, I believe it was either 30 or 40%. Kering was down 40% in total for the company, including Gucci. And now that they have reported that Gucci itself is down 20%, you guys, it's really not good. And I think there's a lot of things to take away from here. And I think people are quick to blame, even me. Are you kidding me? All the content I make that I'm like, Salvatore de Sarno sucks. I'm such a hypocrite. But I think when it comes to this, I don't necessarily think it's a Salvatore de Sarno issue for the most part. I mean, do I think that his collections and his products could definitely be a little better and then a little concise? For example, the latest men's collection had absolutely nothing to do with the women's wear. It was very off the cusp, as I've said before, and didn't really make sense. I also think there's a lot of problems with upkeeping the Gucci brand. At this point with these houses, for example, I think Tiffany is a very big part of my point that I'm saying here. A lot of these fashion houses don't really need to recreate the fashion wheel. They just need to upkeep the brand image. This is why you see, every time you're in New York, you see these huge billboards of Tiffany jewelry. I don't think Tiffany needs to create any new product. They just need to upkeep the public figure of the Tiffany brand. This is doing by marketing, by celebrity placements, by, campaigns, by shoots and stuff. This is kind of when you're a house like Louis Vuitton, Tiffany, Gucci, Burberry. The point of you being alive today is to sustain the fashion image of your brand. And I think Gucci hasn't been doing a really good job of that. I mean, they've done quite a bit of celebrity placements like Kendall Jenner and Bad Bunny. They try to do that kind of tennis challengers inspired campaign for their sports items that didn't really work very well, coupled with not necessarily very great product coming from Salvatore de Sarno. I think in general now the Gucci brand isn't doing well. I don't think when you ask people what they think of Gucci, they would have anything positive to say about it in general. Do you guys remember that slump that Prada had? I think it was maybe 2015 to 2018, 2019, before they really kind of reticketed back the nylon stuff and reworked it and made it popular again. Prada was also in the slump before where their brand image just wasn't covetable, or nobody really wanted to buy into the Prada brand. I think this is what's going on with Gucci right now, and I think people are quick to blame Salvatore de Sarno, but honestly, I don't think it's necessarily his fault. I think he has a lot of work to do to kind of rehabilitize Alessandro Michele's brand image of it that is pretty outdated. So I do think he has a lot of work coming out for him. I think I've heard that in September, his runway collection for September Fashion Week is his very, 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 very last chance. And I'm a little worried. I probably don't see him lasting at the brand very, very soon. He probably will get the boot. I don't know. I just think it's interesting that I think fashion people are always looking at these runway shows and saying, give us something new, give us something new. But I think when your house is close to being 100 years old, I don't think you need to do new stuff. You just need to upkeep your fashion image. And I don't think Gucci's doing a really good job of that. So Another segue that I wanted to talk about creative direction. So I recently, this week, I posted some shorts about who would be successing Virginie Viard at Chanel. And just so you know, I came up with this idea and I think we should kind of implement it. So whoever runs LVMH, or you know, those like Kering or whatever, Francois Arnault, your days are numbered, sweetie pie, because I just came up with such a good idea. And they actually did this at Dior before. When Raf Simons left Dior and they were trying to find a replacement which ended up being Maria Grazia Chiuri, they had Luc and Louis C. Meyer from who designed Jill Sander now as interim designers. So they actually signed a contract as interim designers of Dior, whether that was going to be 2 or 3 seasons. And I think this is actually like a really good way to kind of test out a designer. So I think this is actually like, hopefully the sound is way better now, by the way. I think this is actually a really great way to kind of test a designer at a brand and see how well they do it and how like the public kind of reacts to their work and all their collections. So I think we need to be signing like interim designers, especially at Givenchy. We could have given someone, and you know, we're not letting them know, we're letting them know it's going to be a 1-year contract under Givenchy. You will design 4 collections: cruise, pre-fall, fall, winter, spring, and then we'll see how you do, and then maybe you can get re-signed, kind of like a mat leave cover. I think maybe that's like, and I also probably feel it's probably cheaper to hire someone like that, because you know, these 3-year contracts, 7 years, 10 years contracts tend to be well into the millions if you're a big designer. Like I think Jonathan Anderson gets paid well over maybe 5 to 10 millions to do Loewe, same with Nicolas Gasquet. But if we kind of do these interim designers at a brand for maybe like a year, I actually think that it would be like a really cool idea to kind of maybe take someone and take their strategy into the brand for 1 year and see how it goes. So I think at Chanel, I think this would be like a really, really good idea. You guys, just kind of hiring someone maybe for a year. I think Simone Rocha would actually do really well at Chanel, maybe just for a year. I do think her ideas might get a little bit stale after a year, but I think just for like 1 year, 12-month contract, I think that'd be really cool. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think of this idea, kind of this like maternity leave, interim designers at brands. I just thought of this and I thought, you know what, this actually is a pretty, again, sirens. Wouldn't be a Tomás video without sirens in the back. I actually think that this is like a pretty cool idea. So you guys have to let me know in the comments what you think of that. Some more fashion tea. It was viral on Twitter this week that apparently Jonathan Anderson is leaving Loewe after 10 years for Gucci. So I don't know if you guys know this, but a lot of designers' contracts at these fashion houses are usually 3 years, 7 years, or 10 years. So for example, Matthew Williams at Givenchy was a 3-year contract. Alexander Wang at Givenchy was also a... Givenchy? Did he do Givenchy? Yes, right? Alexander Wang did Givenchy, right? Yeah. He was a 3-year contract. You can usually tell, it's pretty obvious to tell when someone has a 3-year contract, because by the middle of the year, they don't have a collection lined up for September because the contract is up and they're probably not renewing it. So I think, for example, like Eddie Simon at Celine, I think he is on his 7th year next year, which is why everyone is rumoring that he will be leaving, because on his next year, the 7-year contract is up. And as always, what he did with Saint Laurent, he's going to ask for way much more money. And I heard he's a little bit of a troublemaker to work with, so they might not renew him. But Jonathan Anderson was signed, I believe, to a 10-year contract, because when he took over Loewe, it was actually like a very irrelevant brand. So Loewe kind of had nowhere else to go but up, because they had already hit rock bottom, especially with Stuart Vevers. He wasn't really doing anything notable at the brand at all. So I do believe Jonathan Anderson definitely signed a 7-year and then extended to a 10-year. Usually they do kind of do this whole press release that he has been resigned. For example, Nicolas Gasquet at Louis Vuitton had a whole press release and even did like a photo shoot that he is re-signing, I think, for 5 more years at Louis Vuitton. So he went from 10 years to maybe like 5 more years. Anyways, my point is that now this is a crazy rumor, but I could probably see Jonathan Anderson leaving Loewe just because it has been 10 years. And I do think he has kind of done the work that he wanted to do. I think the reason Jonathan Anderson picked Loewe is because he wanted a challenge and kind of to bring his creativity, and like he was really able to kind of take the reins on the brand and lead it to wherever he needed to do. And he did that. I mean, he has the #1 brand in the world, you guys. Loewe is as popular as can ever be. And I wonder if Jonathan ever left Loewe, would the brand still be as successful? I do think like a lot of the designers at Loewe, and especially their marketing, especially on TikTok, doesn't necessarily need the use of Jonathan Anderson. I mean, I think he is the face of the brand, and obviously in his runway shows he comes out and takes his bow and yada yada yada. But I don't necessarily think that he is needed. I think at this point of Loewe being such a global, worldwide recognizable brand, we're kind of past the need for Jonathan Anderson, even though he does create these really iconic and amazing collections and product that is just so creative. I just absolutely love it. But I don't think he's necessarily needed there anymore. And also he could just be wanting a challenge. Also, he could just be wanting to focus on JW Anderson. I think a lot of the reason he picked LVMH and Loewe was because LVMH would invest some of their majority stake into JW Anderson, which is what he wants. He wants the brand to be big. And I mean, it's pretty big now. They have their own store in London, etc., etc. I think they might be building more stores, especially in New York. Jonathan Anderson is a very great creative designer, but I also think he's very, very smart and a great businessman. And I think the reason he did take Loewe and kind of built it from the ground up was just to have that backing and support from LVMH for his own brand. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think Jonathan Anderson will be leaving Loewe? He is finishing up his 10th year, either this year or next year, maybe early next year. And do you guys think that he would do well at Gucci? I actually don't think Gucci would be really good for Jonathan, just because I just know Jonathan hates the monogram. Like, he would see a Gucci GG monogram and be like, get me the F out of here, in my opinion. I don't think what Gucci needs is a creative designer like Jonathan Anderson. They need someone who will like just steer the brand back on track. And I don't think Gucci is looking for the next best thing. I think Gucci is looking to coast for the next few years and really ride out this luxury slump. And then once everybody gets to spending again, then they will focus on creating more fashion. I think now at this point they need to just focus on creating product and just sustaining the brand. And then when luxury picks up again, then we can kind of focus on more fashion, you know? Okay, let's talk about Taylor Russell. So Taylor Russell recently flew to Seoul for a Casa Loewe opening. Casa Loewe is like the more standalone Loewe boutiques where they have a lot of ceramics decorated all across the store. It's basically like the artsy Loewe boutiques. Anyway, she was flued out, and I have to say, I think we need to give Taylor Russell more credit. I absolutely love her. Not only is she gorgeous, beautiful, beautiful, stunning woman, she also has this really cool it girl status, especially in her off-duty looks when she's just walking around London. I think she's one of the coolest girls, and I think we need to be giving her more fashion credit, in my opinion. I think she is so cool. Like, she has this pose, I'm going to put a picture on the screen, that she does with a lot of her red carpet looks, where she kind of looks behind. And I'm absolutely obsessed with her, you guys. I think she's beautiful, she's gorgeous, and she also has, you can tell she has this love for fashion. Like, one of the Loewe shows she went to, she wore the metal jacket that obviously you can't sit down in, and she just walked into the Loewe show wearing this metal, kind of 1800s Lord of the Rings jacket, and then just sat down, and she was just wearing like a black dress from Loewe. She just has this demure, cool girl, like intellectual vibe that I really love in fashion, and I don't think we get a lot from like celebrities. And I think that she needs to be like more sought after. I mean, she needs to get a job, first of all. Like, I haven't seen any of the movies she's been. I feel like the last movie she was in was the Luca Guadagnino, like the one where they were like eating people, like, and she hasn't really worked. I think she did a play after that, but like, I really could see her doing this whole A-list, eventually becoming like a whole A-list celebrity, kind of like Sydney Sweeney, who still is like a fashion girl. But I think Taylor Russell is just so cool. And I was thinking about this when I saw the videos and photos of her at Casa Loewe, that she's just such a cool girl who seems really genuinely nice and down to earth, but like has that it girl fashion status. We haven't seen a lot of the it girl fashion in a few years. Like right now, I can't really think of anybody that really like a genuine it girl within fashion. I think maybe Emma Chamberlain is pretty close to that, but yeah, justice for Taylor Russell, you guys. Like I absolutely love her. I think she's such a cool girl. Oh, also you guys, I want to talk about maybe going to do stuff by yourself. So last night I went to the Tudor Cinema Club concert. By the way, great concert. I highly recommend. If you haven't listened to Tudor Cinema Club, they were kind of the high 2010s indie pop vibe, and they were one of my favorite bands. I was asking a lot of friends if they wanted to come with me, but a lot of my friends don't listen to them. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go to the concert by myself. And if you, this summer, or obviously this upcoming fall or whatever with a lot of concerts, if you are ever feeling like scared or embarrassed to go something or to go to a concert or like a social event by yourself, I mean, would I ever go to like a bar? I think that's different. If I'm going to a club by myself, that's something different. But if I'm going to like a movie or like a concert, I really want to reassure you that honestly, it is not that bad. I think the trick is to honestly get off your phone. If you go to the concert and you spend your whole time on your phone, I think that just shows people that you're there by yourself. But if you're there just like having fun, I mean, drinking definitely helps. I was drinking two Smirnoff Ice during the concert, and I don't even like Smirnoff Ice, but it was the only thing I could get. If you're just like a little loose, honestly, it's not even about going to meet people. It's just going to something that you enjoy and you know that you like, and maybe your other friends don't like, but that shouldn't stop you. If none of your friends like the band that you want to go see, that shouldn't stop you from going. Like, I wanted to go for the nostalgia because Tudor Cinema Club is one of my favorite bands, and I was in high school listening to them, and I just like absolutely love them. And I feel like they're also probably nearing the end of their career, so I was like, no, I have to go. And even though none of my friends listened to them, it was like, it's fine, I'm just gonna go by myself. And I think there's a difference between being alone and being lonely. That sounds so corny, but like, I was alone, but I wasn't lonely. It was just like fun, and you get to hang out with people. Even though I didn't really talk to anybody at the concert, you get to just be in a like-minded room with people that have the same interests as you. So I challenge you guys to go to a concert by yourself. I mean, obviously, if you have friends who like the artist, definitely go together, but it's not as scary as people think it is, and I also don't think that a lot of people are even paying attention to you, honestly. They're probably just focused on themselves or their friends. I don't think anybody's like pointing like, hey, that person's at the concert by themselves. Honestly, you guys, like that doesn't happen. So my call to action to you is to go to a concert by yourself. Trust me, you will love it. I think this might be one of the last topics, but let's get into sourcing culture. So this is, if you don't know what sourcing culture is, I think you must not have Twitter. So congratulations, you are definitely better than me. But this happens a lot on high fashion culture, on high fashion Twitter, and a lot of these kind of like resellers on Depop and Grailed. And it's a lot of posting stuff from the archives and being like, just sourced this 1999 John Galliano dress. And it's a lot, I think it's a lot, I don't know if I would call that sourcing, my dear, because you basically, if I'm looking for something from 1999, so I recently was looking from these cowboy boots from D Squared, from one of the like 2005, 2006 collections. So I went on eBay and I didn't find them, but I found similar ones. But all I put in eBay was D Squared 2005 or D Squared 2007 cowboy boot. That's not sourcing, that's searching for an item. If I go on Vestiaire and I'm trying to find stuff from Prada 2019, I'm gonna search up Prada 2019. Like, I just think we're in this kind of fashion delusion that just because you search for something, you sourced it. Like, that's not sourcing, my dear. You looked up something and then you found it. You know what I mean? Like, honestly, clap if you think Depop sellers should suffer and high fashion Twitter should suffer. Because, like, I don't want to sound like a hater, but it's just like, I side-eye a lot of high fashion Twitter behavior because here's what sourcing is. Okay, this is what sourcing is. So if I'm a rich girl, if I'm a Knightsbridge girl and I only wear Chanel, and Chanel Cruise 24 collection is coming out in September and I want a bag, and I'm in Dubai for all of winter, okay? So I text up my girl Gab Waller. Gab Waller, she is one of the best personal shoppers, and I say, "Hi, I'm sending you this picture. Do you have this bag? If you can get it for me, I'll pay you. And obviously, I'm going to pay you your fee of sourcing." So then Gab Waller uses her network, key emphasis on network, because a lot of you guys just have an eBay account, okay? Key emphasis on network, and then texts every SA in Knightsbridge, texts every Chanel sales associate in New York and says, "I need this bag for a client. Can you let me know if you have it?" So then Mary Sue in the Chanel in Soho, New York, texts Gab Waller and says, "Hi, Gab Waller, queen. I have the bag. I'll ship it to you, or one of your assistants can come pick it up." So then Gab Waller sends a message to Knightsbridge girl who is vacationing in Dubai and says, "My dear, I have the bag for you." That is sourcing. Do you guys remember when Hailey Bieber wanted to wear the Celine coat? This was like a long time ago. The Celine coat it was discontinued, obviously. It was Phoebe Philo era. And it was like a whole Vogue article. And Gab Waller found the coat for her. And the reason she found the coat for her is because she knew somebody in Beverly Hills who had access to the coat, who owned the coat, and was like, "No, like, I'll sell it to you. Hailey Bieber can have the coat." That is sourcing. When I have a network of people that I know, if I'm looking for a rare Bottega bag, and I know Christina in New Orleans is a Bottega collector and she probably has it, I'm gonna send her a text message and be like, "Do you have this bag?" That's sourcing. If I'm just looking for the damn bag myself on Vestiaire, that's not sourcing. You guys, like, come on. You guys are like, ugh. You guys drive me up the wall. And I think high fashion Twitter, I honestly love to just hate watch all these accounts because, like, I will say I'm a hate watcher through and through. Like, I gotta hate sometimes, and I'm not gonna do it publicly, but I will definitely like share posts around and be like, "This is so like silly or stupid." I think, and I get it, you guys. I get it. I think I love the excitement. If I'm looking for a Prada skirt from spring to that 2016, and I find it on eBay, that's cool, you guys. Like, I love that. I love doing the fashion research part of it, but that's not sourcing. I just went on damn eBay and searched up the damn thing, and it popped up. You know what I mean? Keyword searching, SEO. You know what I mean? Like, that's in the era that we're in right now. I just think, like, in fashion, like, the internet, also the bee's nest beside my house is crazy. I saw my way of, I'm gonna one day get attacked by these bees. But fashion, the internet has democratized fashion so much that these concepts and these keywords that we're using, everybody just uses them now. So, like, I'll go on someone's Instagram and it says, here's another thing I want to get into. I'll go into someone's Instagram and it says, stylist, creator, yada, yada, yada. And then I go through the Instagram and there's no work. So if I'm going on your Instagram, it's basically a public resume, right? And if I don't see any of your work, why is stylist in your bio? I want to see what you're styling. I'm not even trying to be shady. I'm not, like, I know a lot of people call themselves stylists and whatever. I'm not even trying to be shady. I'm just saying, like, I want to see your work. So post pictures on your Instagram. If it's just like, I don't know, if it's just like stylist or photographer, like, a lot of photographers obviously post their work on Instagram. But I'm just saying, I think the democratization of fashion has recently allowed for delusion. And this is what I've been noticing lately. And who am I to judge? Whatever, if you sourced an Aritzia like pant off the website, then you sourced an Aritzia pant off the website. Call it what you want, but it's something that I'm side-eyeing, and I just think we need to like learn about terms before we use them, you know? And on that note, it is time for my favorite part of the podcast, which is Tomás's Culture Roundup. This is the best movies, TV shows, music, plays, just kidding, I'll never go see a play, that I have been liking this week. As you guys know, I have the best taste, so I want to share them with you guys. So I have a pretty small list this week, but I am really into, let's get into the music. So I'm really into the Sainthood album by Tegan and Sara. Again, I don't know if I'm just on this nostalgia kick, but this album by Tegan and Sara, I just love how not only are their songs all 2 minutes long, but they really managed to kind of blend the synth pop with guitar, indie, kind of sad, really cool, but has really great hooks in this album, kind of genre together, and I really, really, really loved it. You guys, it's one of my favorite albums, and I was recently rediscovering it, getting into more synth pop. Matt and Kim, Block After Block, and Red Paint from the Neighborhood album or something like that. Matt and Kim are this like couple duo that used to be really, really popular on Tumblr, and it's just the wife on the drums and then Matt singing on the keyboard, and I absolutely love it. This kind of positive brain rot in a positive way synth music, I really love it. It's really great for like if you're exercising and you need kind of that like pick me up music. I really, really loved it. Banks, she is a R&B singer. She recently just released a snippet for her new song called Delulu on Instagram. I know that's such like a cringe title, but the song sounds... Sorry, I just like kicked the camera, so hopefully it's okay. I know Delulu is like a really cringe song name for a song, but like the song does sound really good. In terms of TV and anything, I'm not really watching anything right now other than my usual shows, which I like Baddies and Real Housewives of Orange County. I've already talked about this in the last 2 episodes, so I don't need to talk about them again. And yeah, there was a really cool movie trailer that came out this week. It's called The Substance with Demi Moore. It's kind of like a body horror movie, and the trailer sounds really good. If you're into this kind of luxe, glossy, fashion, gay, horror movie genre, which there aren't a lot of movies. It's basically the Neon Demon, but just directed by a woman. But watch the trailer. It's called The Substance with Demi Moore. It won Best Screenplay at Cannes, and it looks really, really good. It has Margaret Qualley, who used to date Taylor Swift's producer from Fun. So that's a really cool trailer. Check that out. It actually premieres at Toronto Film Festival this September. So I really want to go see it, but I don't know how to get tickets to Toronto Film Festival. Anyways, but yeah, I think that's like a short roundup of my culture. That's like everything I've been listening to, everything I've been watching. Pretty slow week this week, I would say. But thank you so much for tuning in to another 3rd episode of T With Tomás, the fashion podcast. The only fashion podcast on the internet. Hopefully you guys are liking these uploads. I have a lot of fun filming this just off the cusp and yapping for a long time. So let me know what you guys think of all the topics. Obviously in the comments, I really want to hear from you guys. This is supposed to be a conversation, so let me know what you guys are thinking about everything that I've talked about. And you know what? I even got dragged in the first episode. So negative, positive, neutral, let me know what your thoughts are. And I hope to see you guys in next week's uploads. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next week. Peace.